Welcome back to Full Time. The NBL has been forced to defend itself following the collapse of the Sydney Kings today. The league terminated the flagship club's licence, bringing into question not only the mismanagement by the owners, but also how Australian basketball lost one of their biggest brands.
It's hard to believe, but after 3 straight championships and grand finalists just 3 months ago, the Kings are gone, kicked out after owner Tim Johnston missed his deadline to pay outstanding wages.
At this stage, there will be no Sydney Kings in the National Basketball League competition in 2008 and 2009.
Johnston, who is chairman of fuel technology company Firepower, purchased the licence a year and a half ago. And NBL boss Chuck Harmison said alarm bells started ringing only a few months after he took control. The question is why the NBL didn't act sooner.
Because we didn't reach this critical stage. He was still paying players, he was still paying his dues, paying his debts to the NBL. And realistically, there was nothing we could do legally to terminate the licence.
Johnston has been uncontactable, and the NBL is not the only organisation chasing the under-fire businessman.
I can take some solace in as much as, you know, he has gotten other people much smarter than the NBL involved in Firepower.
Little solace for players, though, who've not been paid since at least April.
Personally, it's devastating. You know, I'm at the brink at the moment, and you know, really struggling, but. You know, hopefully there's a future left in the sport for me. Former
owner Mike Wróblewski was set to be the Kings' white knight, but his rescue package was rejected by the NBL.
Mike has put forward a proposal that would see him to have the license transferred to him, but not play in the 08-09 season. And it's really not an acceptable proposition for our group to consider.
And time is running out if the Kings are to play in the upcoming season, with any potential owner needing to submit a comprehensive business plan in the next 7 to 10 days. Richard Brack, Fox Sports News.
And there have been vastly different reactions to the demise of the Sydney Kings, with the Boomers camp in Perth. Contracted Kings player Glenn Saville says it's a sad day for the league, while ex-coach Brian Goorjian describes it as a positive move.
Far from the reality in Sydney, Glenn Saville was in Perth focused on making the cut for the Boomers squad. But as a contracted Kings player, the 32-year-old is now officially without an NBL club next season.
I think it's sad not only for the players, the fact that, you know, like I said, we haven't been getting paid and livelihoods are under a little bit of pressure, players with families and whatnot.
Saville is still owed money from the now defunct Sydney Kings and says they've been trying times in the past year.
It was worrying when we got, you know, 2-3 weeks down the track and that money wasn't coming, and, you know, you head into the bank and you walk out and there's your cheque bouncing across the road in front of you. It's not, I make light of it now, but at the time it's not extremely funny.
With just months before the start of the new NBL season, Saville may now be forced to look overseas, with club lists already full.
It might be the issue that I'm faced with personally is that if there's nowhere that you can fit into a team at this point in June, that a lot of teams have got their rosters already set. You know, the Sydney Kings go under. You know, we don't really have anywhere else to play.
Ex-Kings coach Brian Goorjian empathises with his former player, but says the revoking of Sydney's licence is a positive move.
For me personally, I was involved in the program 6 years. It's kind of a happy day. A happy day in the fact that I think the NBL is all about ownership, and I think the success of the NBL is good ownership.
The national coach throwing his full support behind the embattled league.
I think the NBL has done a great job of moving this thing along. It needed to be moved along. There's pressure there. It's happened. I think it's soon enough. I don't think it's dragged. And again, I think their futures will be decided pretty quickly.
Goorjian with bigger things to worry about ahead of the Olympics in August.
You don't get it's cutthroat. You make a mistake, you're out.
Competition for spots set to intensify during a 3-game series against Iran, which starts in Perth on Monday.
There's 6 or 8 cuts that are going to be made to the 12 that are going to be brutal, and they need to know why they're cutting, and they need to know what they need to do to be a part of the team.
The squad will be cut to 12 on July 2nd. Rebecca Perry, Fox Sports.